One, take one.
Hi, today I will talk about Ingmar Bergman. He was a Swedish film and theater director and screenwriter. In 1918, Bergman was born in Sweden. After graduating from Stockholm University in the early 1940s, he began his career as a theater director at the Royal Dramatic Theatre in Stockholm. Bergman's film career began in 1941 as a script rewriter for a Swedish film company. In 1944, he gained recognition in the film industry by writing the screenplay for Torment, directed by Alf Sjöberg, and his directorial debut was with Crisis in 1946. Over the course of his career, Bergman directed more than 60 films and documentaries, most of which he also wrote. Bergman had a recurring team of Swedish actors and crew members with whom he frequently collaborated. He cast actors whom he trusted from his theater productions in his films as well. Gunnar Björnstrand, Erland Josephson, Bibi Andersson, Max von Sydow, Liv Ullmann. All of them appeared in at least 10 of Bergman's works. For his crew, there was Steven Nyqvist as cinematographer, Katinka Farago, who started as a script supervisor and later became a producer, working with Bergman for 30 years, and Mago, the costume designer, who collaborated with him for many years. He received numerous awards including the Golden Bear at the Berlin International Film Festival, the Grand Jury Prize at the Venice Film Festival, and the Best Director and Special Jury Prize at the Cannes Film Festival. In recognition of his contributions to world cinema, he was also honored with honorary awards at both Cannes and Venice. He mainly dealt with deep psychological and philosophical questions. Bergman was one of the first directors to bring metaphysical themes like religion, death, and existentialism onto the screen, and his life itself really shaped his work. In interviews and especially in his work The Magic Lantern, Bergman talked about his childhood and how it influenced his artistic vision. His father was a strict Lutheran pastor, and he grew up surrounded by religious rules and a strong sense of guilt. To him, religion was all about sin, punishment, and fear. This influenced the themes of his films, God, sin, loneliness, human psychology, and formed the foundation for his religious storytelling. But he came to adopt an atheist perspective, so many of his works deal with crises of faith and the absence of God, exploring what human existence means in a world without God. In The Seventh Seal, the knight questions where God is amidst the Black Death.
Tiger. Jag ropar till honom i mörkret. Men ibland är det som det inte fanns någon där. Det kanske inte finns någon där.
And Winterlight shows a pastor losing faith while facing God's silence and human suffering. His strict, fear-inducing father, his relationship with his mother, and the physical and mental punishment he experienced as a child all shaped the theme of this connection. He shows humans as isolated beings who fundamentally can't understand or communicate with each other. Family, dysfunctional families, religion, God's silence, and art, artists profiting from others' suffering, are three repeated motifs he used to explore lack of communication. Films like Persona, The Silence, and Through a Glass Darkly depict these relationships.
Vem är du? Jag är döden.
He also explored death and existential anxiety. His films look at the emptiness, fear, and meaninglessness people feel when they confront death, asking whether humans can find any meaning as they inevitably move toward death. In The Seventh Seal, the knight plays chess with death in search of meaning. In Wild Strawberries, an elderly professor reflects on life and death. Bergman's most distinctive camera technique is the close-up shots. He often used long, intense close-ups of faces to reveal a character's inner world and emotions. These let the audience pick up subtle expressions and feelings, drawing them deeper into the story. He also favored static shots and long takes. Bergman said in an interview that, "I want to convey psychology through the actors and the space rather than explaining it through cuts." He minimized cutting and preferred a continuous flow in a single shot. With a long take, the audience can feel the scene's emotional flow and see the relationship, interaction, and tension between characters at once. Even within a shot, the camera often stays static, letting viewers focus on the scene itself through the actor's placement, expressions, and gestures. That's why his films have more two shots than shot reverse shot. Also, Bergman's films are known for their strong contrast between light and shadow. Extreme lighting contrasts create dramatic moods and visually express a character's inner struggle, conflict, or emotion. The films I watched are The Seventh Seal and Persona. The Seventh Seal follows a knight, Antonius Block, who returns from the Crusades and plays a chess match with death itself, raising questions about life, death, and existence of God. The film deals with God's silence and absence, inevitability of death that approaches everyone, and the anxiety that comes with it.
Du ser ängslig ut. Döljer du något?
Ingenting undgår dig, eller hur?
Ingenting undgår mig. Ingen undgår mig.
Jag är ängslig, det är sant.
Du är rädd.
The chess game serves as a symbolic visualization of the struggle between life and death. So the match between the knight and death represents a human trying to delay death for a moment while searching for meaning between life and death, God and humanity.
Den besökte mig i morse. Vi spelade schack tillsammans. Den fristen ger mig tillfälle att uträtta ett angeläget ärende. Varför ett ärende? Mitt liv har varit ett jagande, farande.
These themes unfold through the knight's confrontation with death and through the subplots of the various characters and external events he encounters on his journey home. We can see Bergman's signature techniques in this film. He used static shots in the chess scene and especially the landscape shots. In some scenes, he places both characters in the same frame instead of relying on shot reverse shot. Strong contrast of light and shadow also stand out in this film. However, here, instead of using his signature intense close-ups, he uses long wide shots more symbolically. The scenes of the knight playing chess with death, or characters placed as small figures within vast landscapes. By showing the knight and nature, the knight and death in a broad frame, Bergman visually emphasizes how small humans are and death is inevitable. The famous final scene, often called the Dance of Death, shows the knight and his companions holding hands and dancing, with death leading the way, captured in a wide long shot as they head towards their deaths. Dissolves are also used frequently in this film. They mark the passage of time and layer characters and landscapes over each other, encouraging the audience to think about meaning behind the transitions. Persona is about a nurse, Alma, and her patient Elizabeth, a famous stage actress who suddenly can't speak. Over time, their relationship starts to twist, and their feelings and identities begin to merge and intrude into one another. The two characters start to resemble each other, their personalities overlap and become ambiguous, while at the same time, there's this tense feeling like they could destroy each other. Unlike The Seventh Seal, which focuses on external events, Persona centers on the psychological inner world and shifts in identity. The main theme here is identity. The film explores how identities merge and the confusion that comes with it. Elizabeth's silence and Alma pouring out her secrets also raise questions about whether genuine communication is even possible between people. In Persona, Bergman's signature close-ups stand out. By zooming in on the characters' faces, he shows their confusion and builds emotional tension and pressure. There are also many scenes where both characters appear in the same frame, like Alma and Elizabeth sitting on the bed in hospital or facing each other. In some of these shots, the unique composition in persona is that the two main characters' faces are arranged so that they overlap halfway. This symbolizes the blending and confusion of their identities. At one point, their faces even seem to merge into one. Like in the seventh seal, Bergman also uses high contrast between light and shadow in persona, placing the face with half in light and half in shadow. This emphasizes the character's inner division and psychological tension, highlighting their internal conflicts. Through his techniques and storytelling, his themes of death and the self came through even more clearly, and the movie left a lasting impression on me. Watching his films, we can understand why he is considered one of the great and important directors in film history. Even today, his works are still discussed and interpreted in many ways, like in Persona, people said two characters are actually two sides of the same person. And his works continue to be recognized and appreciated over time. That's all for today. Thank you for listening.